Well, it's Shaw here again with more of my YouTube videos on recent events and now my document packets. This is number 5 in the series I'm doing on the 5 basic documents. And this one is the motion to dismiss. And it's a big deal because it's going to be unopposed. And there is some apparent danger with filing motions because ordinarily they're considered a general appearance and a stipulation to the jurisdiction we're challenging. BS. It's not how it's supposed to work. The 9 old parts have said that we can challenge jurisdiction at any time. The Constitution mandates it. And in California, happily enough, we can cite Section 418.10 of the Code of Civil Procedure, which I always do with the Savings to Suitors Clause reservation of rights. But by its own language, it's considered a special appearance for the purpose of challenging jurisdiction. And we can do that and should do it. We may have to customize document for you in the jurisdiction you're in, but you sure as hell can do that. And we raise a whole lot of issues here. Again, arising under all 6 articles of the Constitution, including bills of attainder, which is the taking of property or life or whatever without judicial process. And we're not in any judicial courts here. At best, an administrative tribunal, and it may be a federal territorial legislative tribunal. And yet, when you look around for the consent of the governed, hello, it's not there. They do all this by fiction of law because they assume that all of us owe our citizenship to Section 1 of the non-existent 14th War Amendment, as I just covered in my video on that brief that I've done on the 14th Amendment. That's invalid from day one. The amendment doesn't exist. They simply can't make assumptions like that. And that issue is raised in this motion also, that you simply can't assume things. The government has to prove everything. If they can't do it, they lose every element of the crime. And for example, they haul your ass in there and charge you with, for example, driving without a license. They have to prove that you're a quote unquote person who's required to have a license. And they can't do either one of those two things because person really is in capital letters as it comes out of the 14th War Amendment. And that identifies corporations, IBM, Chase Bank, I mean, you name it. We're not one of those. They can't prove it. You know, we haven't agreed to the 14th Amendment and it wasn't designed to affect state citizens in any event. So they have a problem there. And then when you get to license, and you understand what the legal definition of license is from Black's Law Dictionary, permission granted by competent authority to do an act that without such permission would be illegal, a trespass or a tort. That's the definition. Now, these people in the legislature and the governor's mansion are our agents. Since when does a principal need the permission of his agent to do anything? Think about that. Not only that, we have an unlimited power to contract secured by at least Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution for the United States, and probably the 9th Amendment as well. If you argue it that way, you'd be in really good shape. We don't use the damn Bill of Rights. It doesn't apply to the states. So all of this comes into play, and it gets into a lot of questions they can't answer, any one of which not only beats the jurisdiction, but establishes the absence of jurisdiction of the trial court. And long and short here is that the black robe badgers, the dumbasses, and everybody else in there are not acting in any official capacity. Thus, they don't even have qualified immunity, let alone absolute immunity from any offensive action that we care to take. It doesn't exist. They plainly violated their oath of office to be bound by this Constitution and the laws enacted in pursuance thereof. And all these badgers went to law school for 4 to 6 years. They've taken the oath of office. They don't know this? My 5 decades of research have yet to turn up an iota of support for anything remotely resembling a good faith act of treason to the Constitution. And the Supreme Court of the United States, as you'll learn by getting my materials, and send me an email there, uwinnincourt@gmail.com, is the one saying that this is treason to the Constitution. Not me, the US Supreme Court and Chief Justice John Marshall, that infallible icon of Harvard and Yale who was never wrong, was he? Damn. So that's the danger that they're in, and they should be. That's the whole point of having a representative government, and especially on a local basis where you have local responsible parties. And just a quick aside here, that's what the war between the states was really all about. You know, the southern states, I'm from the South, and I'm proud of it. And I would have been right in the front lines with Robert E. Lee fighting for that, because that was the real issue there. Yeah, slavery was a context, but the issue was, are we going to have a national government or a federal government? And you people at the ACLU, NAACP, SPLC had better wake your asses up here, because when you accept that citizenship, you have to understand that the current occupant of the White House, Trump, has indicated that he can, by executive order, abolish your citizenship without notice or opportunity for you to be heard, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's true. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The 14th Amendment is the War Amendment Act. Look how perfectly that goes together. So all of you Africans and Asians and whoever out there didn't gain a damn thing from the amendment. Only the corporations did. Get off it already. Start to act real. Realize we all have to work together here. If we do that, we get there even quicker and get back the government we're supposed to have, which, while it may still not be perfect, it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what we have now. That's the whole point of my doing what I'm doing here. And a lot of these issues were raised in this motion. When you read it, you'll see that quite a bit of it is here. In fact, I may actually do some amending to this motion, and people that already have it will get complimentary copies. And those of you that get new packets will get updated ones, so you'll have that. But these are the kind of issues. It's much more than just a single case here. It affects the integrity of the entire government that's in place now. That's how important it is. And what we need to be doing here, we have an unprecedented window of opportunity, I think, for at least the next 6 months to get out there and get fighting and get into these courts. And if enough of us do it, they can't deny all of us. It's going to come out sooner or later. That said, like the videos, subscribe, tell your friends, get the word out. We can beat these bastards, and we have a chance to do it that may never occur again. Thank you.